Greetings, technology enthusiasts. I am Chandrahas and I am delighted to be here with you representing CyberBrainer. Do you not believe that the technology sector is advancing at an unprecedented rate, making this an opportune moment to acquire the skills that will facilitate your progress? With CyberBrainer, we are empowering you to take control of your own future. At CyberBrainer, we do not merely impart your interests. We assert that information is power, yet it is the application of knowledge that distinguishes you. Our courses are meant to equip you with essential skills, whether you are pursuing data science, understanding artificial intelligence, or delving into cybersecurity. Let us commence the session and seize the future today. Thank you.
First, what is CyberArk? CyberArk is a pass privileged account security solution for an organization. It is a full lifecycle solution for managing the most privileged accounts in the enterprise and enables organizations to secure, provision, manage, control and monitor all activities associated with all types of privileged accounts. Basically, this PAM tool will help for an organization to secure, provision, manage, control and monitor all activities associated with the privileged accounts. Now the second question is, what is privileged account? Privileged accounts are nothing but the accounts which are having elevated access on the servers. For example, administrator account on the Windows servers and root accounts on the Linux or Unix boxes, and in the same way, some administrator account on the network devices and Cisco enabled on Cisco devices and embedded passwords found in applications and scripts. All these are called as a privileged accounts. These are the most privileged accounts in any organization, and we need to secure these privileged accounts, and in the same way, we need to provide access to the persons, and also we need to monitor the activity of those privileged accounts. To achieve all these kinds of things, we required a PM tool. In market from the past 15 years, CyberArk is the market leader for these PM tools. In market, we have many other tools also, but CyberArk is having more features compared to those other tools, and also the CyberArk Vault server is a hardened server and they developed that Vault server using some Vault-ended technology. That technology, no one was hacked till now. These are the benefits of CyberArk. In CyberArk, first we have three phases. The first phase is if you want to implement CyberArk for any client or any organization. We have three phases. First phase is installation. We need to install CyberArk components in the servers, and post that we need to implement. In implementation stage, we need to onboard all the privileged accounts into CyberArk, and we need to set up access part to the end users through CyberArk. Post implementation of that CyberArk in the organization or for a client, then we will hand it over to the operations team. This operations team is a production support team. They will support any end user issue day-to-day basis. They need to resolve the end user's issues if they face any issue while accessing the servers through CyberArk or while accessing the CyberArk portal. What are the different types of devices can be secured using this tool? We can onboard operating systems. Operating systems is nothing but Windows, Unix, Linux and other named Unix and Linux. There are different flavors. We can onboard all the privileged accounts in those operating systems. And we can onboard networking devices, applications, website and appliances also into CyberArk. In market, we have different other tools related to PM also. Those are Beyond Trash CA technologies, Centrify, CyberArk, Pycotic, Manage Engine, Onidity and CyberArk. But CyberArk is the market leader, as I told you, from past 15 years. Now coming to the components of the CyberArk. First component is a Vault server. First component is Vault. Vault is a hardened and secured server which is used to store all the privileged account information. Before implementing CyberArk in any organization, if any server admin or any application team wants to log into their target servers, simply they will do MSTS from their laptops. Here they need to enter the IP address or hostname to which server they want to connect. After entering IP address or hostname, it will prompt for the username and password. They need to enter the username and password manually. For entering the password, what they will do? They will note that password in their notepads or wordpads in their local systems. Again, it is a security breach. If anyone knows their passwords, they will also be able to log in from their machine. To avoid such kind of scenarios, and these privileged accounts are the most valuable asset in the organization. In case, if any hacker gains privileges to these privileged accounts easily, they can hack the organization data or client data. To avoid such kind of breaches, we need to implement any one of the PEM pooling to that organization. Post implementing CyberArk in that organization, in case if any end user wants to connect to any target server, what they need to do? Simply, they need to log into the CyberArk portal using multi-factor authentication, and then they need to search for the server which they want to connect. For example, they want to connect to one of the server. In my lab, I have added the hostess using IP address because there is no DNS server in my lab. Due to that reason, I have added the hostess with IP address. But in real time, all the servers will be with host names, fully qualified domain names. After logging into this portal, that end user need to search for the server which they want to connect. If I search with this 10.1, 1.3, I will get two accounts, but these two are related to PSM accounts. I will show you one more account which I have onboarded for just a demo purpose. Here you can see CYBERARK is one of the account. I have onboarded this account. In case, if any end user wants to connect to this account, they will search this account in the search box. After searching this account, they will be able to see this account name, address and safe name, all those details. After that, they need to simply click on connect button. That's it. After clicking on the connect button, one RDP file will be downloaded. By clicking on this RDP file, the last session will be established. The target mission session will be established here. My remote desktop licenses were expired. But in our classes, I will guide you how to install this software. In your lab, you will get 180 days pre-license. Post that again, this RDS license will be expired. After downloading the RDP file, if any user click on, that means if that end user click on that RDP file, that target server session will be established. Here what we have achieved, there is no exposure of the passwords. There is no exposure of the credentials. All the passwords will be stored in the vault server. Whenever, if that end user click on connect button, Cyber itself in the backend, it will fetch the password from the vault and it will establish a session, and that session will be given to the end user. Once the session is established, immediately session recording will be happened. Now I can move ahead to components of the Cyber. First component is Vault. Vault is a hardened server which is used to store all the privileged account information. Whenever, if you onboard any account to Cyber, that account password will be stored in the Vault server. That server is called a Vault. It is a hardened server and it is the core of the entire Cyber solution. In case, if your Vault server is down, then no one will be able to access any server because all the passwords are stored in the Vault server. And it is the server and most secure place in the network where sensitive data can be stored. All the sensitive means privileged accounts, credentials will be stored in the Vault. And it is secured using Cyber's patented vaulting technology. Here, Cyber has designed one vaulting technology. Using that technology, they are encrypting the passwords. They are using some algorithms in backend like AES 256 RSA, some algorithms we don't know. All those technologies, all those things. Just they mention the algorithm names. That technology name is C. First vault. It is secured using Cyber's patented vaulting technology. That is the vault. In my lab, I will show you. I have prepared one VMware workstation. And inside that VMware, I have installed 3 operating systems. First one is Vault and second one Active Directory and third one Component Server. In Vault Server, I have installed the Cyber Vault software. After installing Vault, you will get one icon on the desktop that is Private Server. Here you can see your Vault is up and running server. I am using the version LM.2.0 and it is up and running. This is the Vault server. Inside this server, all the privileged account information will be stored. But those passwords are encrypted. The initialization directory for Vault is cprogram file 6086 private dark server. Here database is there. In database, we have MySQL utilities and some other things. Some other stuff is there. Here all the passwords and activity logs. Everything will be stored in the Vault server. And next component is a CPM Central Policy Manager. Mainly it is responsible for password management. It will automatically change the passwords on the target server and it will update the same password on the Vault without any human intervention. Based on the policies configured by the cyber admin, like if the cyber admin has configured a policy like every 5 days password need to be changed for all the privileged accounts, then as per that policy, CPM will change the passwords on the target servers and will update the same password on the Vault server. Mainly CPM will perform 3 activities. First one is password verification, second one is password change, and third one is password reconciliation. I will go through all these 3 things in depth in later classes. Just this is a demo class. I will go through all the components. What component is responsible for what action? Password for web access. It is a web interface used by both cyber administrators and cyber candy users to do their day-to-day activities. This interface is nothing but a PVBOA interface. For getting this interface, we need to install one PVBOA web server in backend. That component is called PVBOA password for web access. This interface will be used by both the cyber admin. As a cyber admin, I need to log into this interface for onboarding some accounts or troubleshooting some accounts or doing some configurations kind of thing. As an end user, what that end user need to do with this website means they need to log into this portal and they need to connect to their target sessions, target servers. Once their work has been done, they will disconnect from the target server. Next one is PSM Privileged Session Manager. It is mainly responsible for session recording. After establishing a session, after clicking on the connect button, one RTP file will be downloaded. Once you click on the RTP file, you will get the target server session. Once the session is established, immediately session recording will be happened. That session recording will be performed by the PSM component. Apart from the session recording, it will perform session isolation and session monitoring also. Session isolation means all the sessions. After clicking on RTP and that RTP file will be downloaded. If you click on that RTP file, that session will go to PSM first and from PSM to target server, session will be established. Flow is like end user computer to PSM. Initially the session will be established, but this will all happen in backend. Only we will see the target server session. from PSM to target, session will be established. But end user will not be able to see this PSM session directly. He can see the target server session. This is called session isolation, means all the sessions will be gone through PSM server. Why we require session isolation means it will be helpful to avoid any hacking kind of things. In case if you directly establish a session to the target server from the end user server, then there might be a chances to hack that sessions. But here PSM will be the intermediate. Apart from that, we are isolating means we are avoiding that hard-coded credentials. That PSM users will fetch the credentials from the world and it will establish the session to the target. Next component is PSMP. Related Session Manager Proxy. This is also same like a PSM, but in general in real time, that Linux or Unix administrators don't want to connect it to their PVA portal to perform their activities, day-to-day activities in the Linux or Unix boxes. In that case, they will connect to their target servers using some native tools called PuTTY. If any end user or any Linux or Unix administrators, if they're connected to their target servers using PuTTY tool, even though we can monitor that session, that activity can be achieved using PSMP component. Here, we will provide one connection string to that end users. They need to log into their target server by entering that connection string. Once they enter that connection string, that session will be established through PuTTY only. But at the same time, we can do that live monitoring and session recording also using PSMP component. Next one is Endpoint Privilege Manager. Basically, this component is used for whitelisting or blacklisting any applications. In case, if you want to install any applications in the endpoints like any target end user laptops, Cyber has provided one component Endpoint Privilege Manager. In this component, we can whitelist or blacklist any applications where that end users can able to install on their own. And next one is PTA. Privilege Threat Analytics. This component is basically used for behavioral analysis. What it will do? It will scan the entire environment and it will detect any malicious thing is happening or not, and it will provide a report to the cyber admins. For example, when is a cyber admin and daily he used it to log in from 9 p.m. to in the PVView portal means prod annual order. But suddenly on Thursday night 12 am, he logged into this portal. Then it is something called something different. As usual, he used it to log in 9 to 6, but normally it's not a normal behavior. Then immediately it will send an alert to that cyber. This is one of the examples. But these kind of many things we can configure in the PTA. And next one is everything is in the dashboard. We can check in the dashboard of this. No, this is an entirely different component. This will not come under EPB Enterprise Password Vault. This is a different component and these licenses are also different, and for PTL also. This is also a different component and we need to install it differently. But we can include this dashboard into this PVDU portal. Here you will get one more tab called Security. That Security tab is nothing but a PTA tab. But again for PTA also there is a separate URL like PVView. If you want to download any reports or if you want to analyze the things, then you need to log into this PTA portal. Or if you want to analyze any unusual behaviors or not normal behaviors, then you can log into this PTA and you can terminate the users from PTA also, and you can suspend the users from PTA also. There are a lot many features with PTA also. Next one. Application Identity Manager, and recently they have renamed it to Application Access Manager. Basically, this same component is used for rotating the passwords in the scripts or application code. In case if any application like Java code or an ET code wants to connect to database, they will hard code that username and password in their scripts means in their code. To avoid that hard coded credentials in their code, CyberArk has a component called AMRAM. Using this component, they can able to fetch the password at runtime. No need to store that username and password in that script. They can write a code related to CyberArk, and at runtime, whenever that code wants to connect to the database, definitely it will fetch from the cyber and it will connect to the database. In AMR, we have again three different subcomponents: CP, CCP and ASCP. CP is Credential Provider, CCP Central Credential Provider, and ASCP Application Server Credential Provider. And the last component is TR1. It is the replica of the production one. In any company, definitely we will have two data centers. One is Production Data Center and the other one is TR Data Center. In the same way, we need to implement our CyberArk also. We need to be required two vaults. One is production and other one is DR vault. DR vault is a replica of the production vault. At regular intervals, the data from production vault will be replicated to the DR vault. In any worst case scenario, in case if your production vault goes down due to any natural disaster, if your production vault got crashed or damaged, then we can restore our services using DR vault because all the data has replicated from production to DR. That is nothing but a disaster recovery vault. These are all the components of CyberArk. In our classes, we will cover Vault CPM, PVOA, PSMDR, Vault and AM concepts and PSMP concepts. These two are out of the box. These are not coming into EPB Enterprise Password Vault. These are again subtopics of the CyberArk. We will install these components also in your lab, and then I will explain the theory part, and then I will explain the implementation part. Implementation part in the sense how to create saves and how to provide access, platforms, all those stuff. There are different things in the platform. I will explain all those things. I will explain that installation and implementation part. In the implementation part, I will not go through the connectors or plugin development, but I will explain all other stuff. Please do like, share and subscribe to our channel.